see. Put you over here.
There we go.
So I like talking to you.
Oh, look. It's
Okay.
Wait, why am I seeing an ad? I thought it was a sub.
Episode 16. November 11th.
Ooh, I like that background.
Thank you. That was the best I could do.
No, that's good.
All right. Now remember, my sound tends to fade me out, but don't worry about it. We're all good.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey everybody, welcome. It is not Tuesday, it is Wednesday, November 11th. We're back, the MC Gamescast, episode number 16. I am your co-host tonight. I am running the ship. Char's already won. My name is Charlie, and I'm here with my buddy at Team Llama Squad, Mitchell Barron. How's it going, brother?
I could barely hear you because of the way your audio works. I believe you're done talking. So I am doing fantastic. I'm just gonna assume the questions that you asked. I'm doing great. No, my thumb is still not swollen. Everything is fine. Doing great. Big show today, Charlie.
It is a big show today, and we've got a lot on our plate, a lot on our docket tonight. But let's first talk about, heck, we've been out for a while. We've been out a little longer. I've been out for a long time. I haven't streamed in like a week, it seems like. I've been under the weather. I've been sick. I've been, working. This is what you do when you're an accountant. You got clothes. I mean, you pretty much just get locked in and loaded up for bear for about 10 days out of the month. But other than that, what have you been doing anything fun over the weekend? How was last weekend for you? How was the last couple of days for you? I can't hear you.
The weekend was good. Sorry about that. We're doing great. The weekend was good. We'll talk a little bit more about it here in just a moment after introductions. But I started the Extra Life campaign.
Yes.
Which was a good time, good start. We'll talk more about that probably here shortly and throughout the show. We've got some good plans. But other than that, just hanging out, cleaning up, then getting back to work to finish off this dumb close that we just finished up yesterday.
I know.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
There's a little bit of a sneak preview behind your left shoulder. I'm just letting you
know
know there.
Are you talking about the slime?
Yeah.
Trunk behind you over here.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I love slime.
We're gonna do an unboxing of a slime container that my daughter owns.
Nice.
Today.
What color is it?
It's whatever color you want it to be.
Can it come alive, like become Slimer?
I don't think so. Well, it can be as messy as Slimer because we got that last Christmas. I don't want to do the slime stuff. The slime is it ruins carpets, and so I don't let them.
Can I confess something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've never fully watched the movie Ghostbusters. Yep.
What?
I've never literally watched it from stem to stern. I've seen the ending, and I'm not. This is no bit.
All right, Charlie, take us out for the week. Let's go.
Well, we're done.
Oh my god. I just want to let you know. I'm just going to say this right now. You never, ever, ever get to give me shit for any movie I've never seen.
Yeah.
Ever again.
And I totally forget. I've got a whole huge board here. This is my what the what moment. And, this is Mitch coming in. We forgot to cheer him on. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, yeah, I've never seen the movie Ghostbusters, but I did have a movie, I guess, achievement over the weekend. It's not really a movie. So, as you know, sometimes it's tough for couples or even families to sync up their watching, and because likes and dislikes tend to combat each other. Like one person will like certain shows, which detest the other party, and etc. I really like that show, Mandalorian. It's awesome. I don't know if you've watched any bit of it yet. Have you at all?
I've watched the first half of the season.
Yeah.
I need to get.
Do you like it at all?
It. I love it. I just stuff.
Yeah. No. Totally.
December was a weird time for me.
Yeah.
Back then. I am gonna get back to it though. It is really fantastic. I love it because it's Star Wars, but it's not Star Wars.
Yeah.
And we talked about this with like Star Wars 1313, the unfortunately canceled video game. I am interested in the non-Jedi stories that they never ever tell, because they told every Jedi story you could ever imagine in video games and entertainment.
Yep.
I want to know all this stuff. I want the darker stuff like this stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to relate to you as well. I totally agree. This is what Star Wars 1313 would have been. Unfortunately, shit happens, and
maybe one day. Cross fingers.
Yeah, but anyway, the big accolade that I got was the fact that my wife
Borat
reached a show hole, and she agreed to start watching Mandalorian, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch the first season again, and she is enjoying it. So excellent. We have found some commonality in there. I think the smartest thing they did to really bring in the crowds was to introduce Baby Yoda, but that thing is so cute.
I think they obviously they didn't do it just for the nostalgia.
Sure.
But I think that they had to bring some sort of core Star Wars to the show, and they did it in a way that wasn't just, oh, hey, here's nostalgia, but it doesn't really make sense in the story.
Yeah.
It obviously it absolutely does, even just in the little bit that I've seen. The way that they use that character and build, really they're building the entire show around it, is really, really smart and really fantastic, and it's incredibly adorable. It is. It's the most adorable thing ever.
But yes, so anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. This is not the MC movie cast. This is the MC Games cast.
Yes.
And we know that you've been playing Rocket League. You got some other things lined up.
Yes.
From what we understand. Oh, I'm sorry.
Quick.
Yep.
Real quick, before we get into the games, let's talk about Extra Life.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That real quick.
So, I'm sorry. Go right ahead, man. You have the floor.
No. I'm only following our run sheet here, but I want to make sure we get this in because it's real big.
Yes.
This Saturday, it's actually going to start at 11 a.m. instead of noon. I'm going to start at 11 a.m. for 12 hours on twitch.tv/Team Llama Squad. 12 hours of streams benefiting Extra Life. Extra Life is going on right now across the entire streaming landscape.
Yep.
I don't know if you're flashing those hand signals at me. I don't know what those mean.
It's 12. 1, 2.
What?
12 hours.
What did I say?
You said you're streaming for 12 straight hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not having your video is really gonna mess this up.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this. But who is this for? Tell us.
So streamers across the world are streaming for the Children's Miracle Hospital Network, and within that, the hospital that I am streaming for is the Cook Children's Hospital here in Fort Worth, Texas. I guess you could say, unfortunately, I am familiar with that hospital. Because my son has had to stay there for a couple days for respiratory reasons, but they are an absolutely fantastic hospital. So it's kind of a personal thing. Also streaming with Team Giant Bomb, www.giantbomb.com, a website for video games. They've already raised close to $180,000, and so Saturday it's going to be. I've already done a couple of little mini streams. that are kind of supporting that. But yeah, it's the big one. And Charlie, you're going to be joining me
Yep.
for a good portion of it.
Yes.
I'm gonna start at 11 a.m. And the reason why I'm starting at 11 a.m. is because at 11 a.m. is the first Rocket League tournament of the day. I'm going to take part in that, and then once that's done,
I will
we've
be
got a
watching you do that because
right, of
I will
course.
ruin your chances at winning any tournament.
Right. And so, but throughout the day, we're going to be playing a bunch of different games. You and I, Charlie, specifically, are going to be playing some gears. We haven't honed down exactly which gears yet. It's either going to be four or five. We can talk about that, on our MC Gamescast laps tomorrow and Friday.
Yes.
But we're going to do that. We're going to be doing some Among Us for the final 2 or 3 hours of the evening with all of our peeps.
Yes.
And if time permits, with some of the other viewers. And then throughout the rest of the day, we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. We're gonna I have some new stuff downloaded, which I'll get into later, of course. But we've got some interesting stuff, I think, that we're going to be able to do, and it's going to be a good time. My goal is $500, and I have raised $105.08 to be exactly specific. So far so good. The big drive is on Saturday, and Giant Bomb has done an incredible job of supporting all of their streamers. Matthew Rory of Giant Bomb actually dropped into my stream on Saturday and hung out for a little bit, and he said that he would definitely support on this coming Saturday. So they're doing an incredible job, and I think they're going to easily pass $200,000 as a team. So it's going to be a great time, folks. I hope you guys will watch. I know, Charlie, you'll be definitely be hosting it on your channel as well while it's going on. Yeah, as we get closer, we'll put out an official schedule, and it's going to be a great time. So I hope everybody will be able to come out. I hope everybody can donate what they can. $10 donations will be able to go into a drawing for a T-shirt of either my logo or the MC Gamescast logo, which will be debuting on Saturday. And if you if you donate at least $25, you're in the same drawing, but you can choose between a T-shirt and a hoodie of the same thing. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're planning some pretty cool stuff. So that's all I want to say about that. Charlie, tell me what you've been playing.
That's good things, man. Good things for the kids. That's greatness.
Oh, yeah. It's for the kids.
What I've been playing? Well, so as we know from last time, I've been delving into the world of Mario Kart 8. And due to the fact that I found a leisurely gift card just randomly in my house and I was going to buy it anyway, I went ahead and took the dive and bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Switch.
Ah, yes.
It is fantastic. That game is awesome. I thought Mario Kart 8 was the pinnacle. It's amazing that they could supplement that with a battle system that does pluck at my heartstrings from like when the Super Nintendo Mario Kart game came out. In Mario Kart 8, that was the one thing I think that was the chink in the armor was the battle mode. The way they set that up in the original game, it was basically they put you in a quote unquote race and they would start you it off in different parts of the course, and you would honestly just race round and round until you either like passed a person or lapped a person, all the while collecting weaponry and banana peels, shells, etc., to throw at your opponents. You could throw things off by going in reverse, but again, there was no uniqueness to it like the battle mode was for the Super Nintendo, the N64, the GameCube games, etc. I think they took and they heard from the masses the complaint, and they fixed that. And they fixed that in a great way, where the battle mode maps are awesome. They're all enclosed. It's not like a real racetrack where it's it's a circular cyclical loop. It's an arena, and then that's what it should be.
Like
and
the old school way.
there are different yeah, exactly like the old school way. There's different modes in it where you can set time parameters It's almost like a capture the flag mode where, funny enough, the one thing, you capture a sunshine and you basically hold on to it as long as you possibly can before someone tags you and grabs the sunshine and you have to chase after them. There's lots of modes in it. You can filter out the weaponry. There's a bomb mode in it. It's a really, really fun game, and like it's essentially Mario Kart 8, which in my opinion is the best Wii U game that they made. But the fact that they added on top of that, like, you know, it's a great experience, to be honest. And now it's complete, basically.
Yeah, and we talked about this the other day. The fact that there are people playing online. You ran into people, not very many people at all playing on the Wii U.
Yeah, let me tell you, there are people who play this game.
A lot.
A lot of people that play this game. Yeah, the Wii U experience, you're just hoping to even start an online match, and you're lucky enough to get 2 or even 3 other combatants. In this one, the lobby rooms fill up really, really fast. And oh my gosh, you hit it right on the head. There are a lot of people who play this game a lot, and it's probably their only game. And boy, do they know the lines of every course, every hidden part of the track, and it will humble you really, really fast. I mean,
right.
The little story I told you, on our laps, I thought I was sitting high in the horse right there when I was like in second on my final lap, and all of a sudden I got completely obliterated by 4 or 5 shells and a random bomb, and I finished 11th.
Yeah, and also that was not unlucky. That was planned by them. They knew what they were doing in waiting for the perfect moment to destroy you. It's like I told you the other day, Charlie. Playing that game, the high level play of that game. Those people are playing a different game than what you're playing.
Yeah,
and there's very few games where that's the case, but this is one of them where it's like, what are you even playing? Are you playing a different Mario Kart? What is happening?
Yeah, no, it's an esport, and if you want to jump into the arena with the big boys, you have got to practice. You have to learn. You have to, like you said, bide your time and get those perfect moments right.
Yeah.
In order to finish in the top half, much less, even try to, place it all.
You could make the perfect run and still end up in 9th place. It's incredible.
Yep.
Incredible. That game is incredible. It's you talked about how you think it's the best Wii game, the Wii U game. It is absolutely one of the best Switch games too. It's probably not the best because there's still Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, but it's right up there. It's so good.
And I'll say this:
I need to get back into it.
I've only played it like on the portable mode. Mm-hmm. I've yet to show this on my 4K screen. I'm looking forward to that moment where I can, because it is so pretty.
It looks really good. The Switch only goes up to 1080.
Yeah.
So it's not going to take advantage of the 4K, but on a big screen, it looks really awesome.
Blown up and everything like that.
The Switch docked looks really good on a big screen. It's kind of surprising, considering that on the handheld it's only 720, and sometimes it looks a little muddy, certain games. But man, a lot of those games when you put them on the big screen, they look real good.
Yep. And
you know how to get the most out of their stuff.
I'm telling you, and if you have a Switch, go grab this game, because you'll have oodles of fun. I'm already looking forward to playing you on this thing, playing against our friend Aaron the Great, and I'm sure that we have other Switch listeners out there
it's
who
an essential game.
I would play them.
It's absolutely essential. In fact, I think there are better games, but I would say, if you're asking me what's the first game you should get for it, I think this is the first game I would tell people, because it's so accessible.
Yeah.
To everybody in your family.
Yep.
Your kid might be just slightly young, but give it another year or so.
Yeah.
He's gonna be all in on it too. It'll be great.
Mario Odyssey is more dynamic and a lot more vast in what it does.
Yeah,
but I already can foresee myself playing this game a lot more. And this is just
sure.
racing.
It's the longevity of this game is more than
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey because there's gonna eventually be an endpoint to Odyssey
Yeah.
where you're gonna get as many of the moons as you
Mm-hmm.
want, and then you're gonna be like, okay, I've seen everything I need to
Pretty much.
see, and then you're gonna be like, well, I guess I feel that way about Splatoon as well. Like
Oh,
that's a
wow.
game I can always go back to. It's a
Yes.
game that it's like, oh, I'm gonna go play an online game. I can just do it. It's so good.
Yep.
Um, the,
It is very good. The other game I've been playing, and again, still trying to take advantage of the PlayStation Now and its, diverse library. My wife and I, we love to play Lego games, and that's her favorite genre right now. And we went back and we've been playing through Lego Indiana Jones, a little bit of Lego Star Wars, and now we hit, I think, honestly, the best product that they've made in the fact that it has expanded its utility, but at the same time, it's still simple enough where you know, a lot of the Lego games have tend to grow outside of itself and become bigger than the actual Lego games. There's so many open world Lego games now that, you know, elaborate further than the linear games. But
Mhm.
this game, the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, it goes through the four movies before the fifth one had been produced, and it still keeps to its simplicity while at the same time you see how much work that oh god, what's that company? I don't want to say Telltale because it's not Telltale, it's TT. Anyway, they've done so much with the art, and it still keeps true to that Lego humor where it is the functionality of the Lego characters, their interactivity with each other, that makes the humor, rather than stealing sound bites from media that already exists. That's what Lord of the
Mhm.
Rings, Lego Lord of the Rings did. It actually took like excerpts and sound bites from the movies and put them into the game. And while that's cool, it definitely is a step back when it comes to the humor that you're looking to experience when you're playing Lego games. It follows the movies. If you love the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, like we do, it follows it almost to a T, but at the same time expands upon it where you're fighting enemies in it that are not necessarily found in the movies, but you can
Mhm.
see how it's part of that world. And it's a great time. We have a great time together. Working as a team. Also, there are times where we are competitive with each other, trying to collect the studs. Overall, though, when I say it is the pinnacle of the Lego games, there are other games that are really really good, but I honestly think that it goes in phases where the latter Lego games open up this more open world, explore wherever you want to, and then just jump into the campaign whenever you feel like. This one though lends itself to linear, like okay, you're going to chapter 1 through 6, all the way through, and that's the meat of the game. So that's pretty much those are the games I have been playing over
Mhm.
the week. Again, it's been closed. It's been a hectic one. I usually would have another couple of games under my belt, but
Right.
that's all we got right now. Right now, though, this is the time of the podcast where we have the news. And this news is brought to you by. We'll tell you later. Um, yeah, we've got a little bit of news, especially with what has occurred or is occurring this week. It's interesting that you put that one as the one that you wanted to tell. But yeah, why don't you lead us off, Mitch, and tell the folks out there, tell the people who are listening days later after this, why I am throbbing and like why my mouth is just completely drooling now that this little bit of news has leaked its way out into the ether.
I just want to let you know I don't like the way you use the.
Throbbing.
I don't like it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Moist.
Yeah. So I'm also extremely excited about this. We had on November 11th we had N7 Day, which is N7 is the Mass Effect Day, and they announced.
Undulating. Good word.
Actually, they actually announced two things. One, they announced this was actually surprising that they're working on a new Mass Effect, which
Yeah.
is interesting. Now, no information, no date. They're not even done with Dragon Age, the new Dragon Age. So, but it's coming. But the other thing is the long rumored Mass Effect trilogy remaster is coming. They're calling it the Legendary Trilogy. It's coming out in spring of 2021.
Shepard.
So you can go and hang out with all your pals Shepard, Rex, Garrus, Miranda, all of them in spring. There's no. They really didn't. They really did not talk about what they're going to do to the games. Is it just a straight up-res and that's it? Are they going to do any actual work to it? They really haven't said. If I had to guess, it's probably just a remaster in the way of, hey, we're making this stuff look a little prettier, but the games are going to be exactly the same for better or worse. But it's coming, finally. I swear this thing has been rumored for the last year, Charlie.
Yeah.
And it'll be nice to have all that in one spot on one disc/download. And I think what we're seeing here, this is them being like, hey, do you guys like good Mass Effect? Because that last one wasn't. Here's good Mass Effect. Get interested for Mass Effect again.
I'm so excited. And it's a return back to the good days when Mass Effect Andromeda didn't exist. As you know, like when we came up with that video game survey, one of my most the hated games I hated the most happened to be Mass Effect 3. For reasons being, that are not like just simple like, oh, I hate this game sucks, why did they even create it, etc. It was a little more existential when it came to the overall Mass Effectosphere, and how much of my heart I poured into it, and how they kind of quote unquote stomped on it at the very end.
Right.
I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what is remastered, more than just the fact that it's remastered. Especially you and I were talking, especially Mass Effect 1.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 2 is damn near one of the most perfect games I've ever played.
Right.
Save a couple of things. Mass Effect 1 has a lot of world. It is more true to the RPG element. It is less actiony. I wonder how much of 2 is going to bleed backward into 1. You know what I'm saying? Or are they going to take, or have they taken, or will they be taking the skeleton of 1 and just growing upon there? You know what I mean?
You're talking for the remaster itself?
Yes.
If I had to guess, this is going to be straight ports. They're not doing any work to this stuff. If I'm guessing. Now, the best case scenario is they basically take the architecture of 2 and put it into 1.
Yeah.
So that would be best case scenario. But if I had to guess, and also we're talking about EA and BioWare here.
Yeah.
EA and BioWare, when it comes to remastering stuff, it's, hey, let's up-res it and dump it out there.
Yeah, and that's my fear, that it's literally just going to be like, here it is, we've made it shinier, and...
Because they've said it's a remaster.
Yeah.
And the idea of a remaster is that they are upping the resolution on textures, making it run better, things like that, but the actual core games themselves don't get changed in any meaningful way.
Sure. And I mean, like,
So
to be honest, like, that's fine. Like, I would still love to play Mass Effect that's shinier. There was a lot of jank to Mass Effect 1. Like, don't get me wrong. I remember there were moments where I would, like, clip right through a wall, no
oh yeah,
reason, or my character would get stuck on the geometry and just like,
right.
I'd have to start over. Like, what are we doing here? And the elevators and
Oh
the
yeah.
Mako. Oh, can we talk about the Mako for a second?
You can talk about. I'll just say my piece on it. The Mako is the worst vehicle in the history of video games.
Nah,
It's the
I
worst
don't believe
vehicle.
you.
Okay, that's fine. Give me another one that's worse. There's not one. It's awful. But
Uh,
I think there's a case to be made that Mass Effect 1 as a game, especially in hindsight and compared to 2, especially 2, it's a very average game at best. And I say that as someone that loves that game
yeah,
and did every single thing you can do in that game. I like the first Assassin's Creed game. It's a bad game now
sure.
compared to all the Assassin's Creeds that have come since then. Um, but yeah, I would love it if they put the Mass Effect 2 architecture in there. I don't think that's what it's going to be though.
Yeah, but we
But
are
we can
excited. Yeah, we're
Oh,
excited the fact that
I'm still going to get it and
Yeah.
play it. I
No.
want to hang out with Rex again.
Definitely.
I love Rex.
I need to go to my favorite store on the Citadel and go shopping
yeah.
for fish. So
Oh my god! Oh god! I want it to
anyway,
be 2021 now.
I know oh, there's a lot of people who share that same sentiment. I'll tell you much.
Yeah.
But in
What's
other
next?
news, Godfall.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, this sucker is no longer going to be a Sony exclusive on day one. They were touting this game. They were showing it at their Sony features. This was a loot grabbing God of War clone, which, at initial onset, I was like, whatever, what is this? And
You've come.
I have come around on this game, and I'm like, this actually could be really, really something, and could be really, really unique. And I'm really, really saddened for Sony. I'm not saddened for game players in general, but it's going to be a day one PC release also. And I'll tell you this also in regards to like waiting for 2021, it's only going to be a 6-month exclusive according to articles. So it's going to be, on the Xbox Series
Which
S or
that's
X.
always been known about that.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Like,
Just reminding the people.
That's. But yeah, it was the PC thing was. It's weird because it's out tomorrow,
Yeah.
and they just announced. Oh yeah, the PC version's coming out too.
Yeah. Like
It's
literally like days and hours before it, like, oh hey, by the way, PC people,
yeah.
we got you. Anyway,
It's really cool. I think that game looks really neat.
Was it Kingdoms of Amalur?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks very much like that, but sharper, crisper.
Sure.
I've really, really come around on the
Um,
action to it. I really, really want to know the story behind it. You know me, I'm all about story-driven games and such
Sure.
like that. So
of course.
let's mix it up a little bit. Let's talk about one of the most underrated, surprising games, best games of all time, the physics engine wonder Kerbal Space Program. There's some news there going in regards
Yeah.
to its sequel.
Yeah, so Kerbal Space Program could have been on my survey as most surprising game to me that I like.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that game from afar through Giant Bomb and through other YouTube channels, and was like, I want to give it a shot because I followed that game for so long, but I didn't think I was going to fall in love with it like I did, and I absolutely fell head over heels. I did back when I was on Mixer. I did a whole series with Kerbal Space Program, the original. I love that game and was super stoked when they announced the sequel and just what they were going to improve upon and what you could do in that game. It was slated for 2021. Unsurprisingly to me, it has been delayed. 2022
Oh man.
is now the release date. And the one thing I would say, and I actually saw this, it's really funny because every time Cyberpunk would get delayed, everybody would lose their goddamn mind
Yeah.
because gamers are assholes. Every person that I saw comment on Kerbal Space Program getting delayed, every single one of them was like, "It sucks, but I understand. I want that game." Like the audience of this game are some of the nicest people you will ever meet, and they're so great.
Well, they're
But
physics dorks. Like, this is not
oh
a
yeah, they're
game that you're
space
just like,
geeks. Yeah.
like, whatever. This teaches you stuff that you can, like, utilize
Orbital
in real
physics. It
life.
teaches you
Yeah.
orbital physics, and it's less of a game. There are game elements to it, but it's less of a game and more of a physics tool. And it's a really incredible accomplishment what the first one did, and the second one looks like it's going to improve upon it in every possible facet, from graphics to the physics engine itself, what you can do and what you can build. So that's a game that I want them to take as much time as possible to get to figure it out, make sure it runs perfectly, and once it comes out, it's all set to go. It's a bummer, but like like all delays, to me personally, there's other stuff to play. I'll play other things up until 2022. It's fine. So it's a bummer, but it needs to be done. But yeah, that's all there is really on that. There's I mean, there's no, it's 2022. No first half, second half, nothing. It's just, hey, we're moving it back. And it may get delayed again. I don't know. That's a game that needs time to bake in the oven. So
And being this far out, I've never minded companies to say, hey, we need to move this back a little further, especially this far back. That means they're being really, really strategic, really, really, they're approaching it with, like, from different angles in regards to, like, waiting till the last second, like, no offense to Cyberpunk.
right.
But,
Well, I think where people got irritated with Cyberpunk is they were delaying it months at a time instead
sure.
of, hey, we're going to delay it one time, we're going to delay it an extra 9 months, we're going to get this right.
Yeah. And
Instead, it's like weeks, and it's like, okay, just shut up and get it done.
and that's the difference between two companies. You can tell, like, with one company, the briefcases are trying to, curb this deadline as soon as possible because they can smell the green just coming right around the corner. Kerbal Space Program, they've got a lot of bunch of, eggheads who are, like, running this thing, and they're like, you know what? It's okay. Our true fans will wait for us, and we don't have to worry about it. And just like you said, they're not pushing it out like 6 months and then waiting 6 months and then pushing it out another 6 months. They're giving it like its time. They're putting it back in the oven. They're smoking this sucker at a low temp, low and slow.
Yeah.
That's fine as it
Yeah.
comes out, as long as it comes out perfect.
For sure.
One more bit of news tonight, trending on the fact of delays. It seems like that's how a lot of things are in regards to, like, a transition. I've noticed with old consoles and new consoles, and honestly in games in general lately. But Horizon Forbidden West, so they're targeting a second half of 2021 for release.
Right.
I know that, again, I have not played the original Horizon. I know that's a huge black spot in my repertoire. I don't want to say I'm kind of glad that it's, like, going more, like, I hate to be that person because I am sometimes when it comes to being like, oh, like, yeah, just push it back because this will give me time to catch up with other games. Because, hey, life happens. I've got shit I gotta take care of. I got family, I got other hobbies, etc., etc. I love to play video games. There are, like, other games that I am playing at this time. This gives me a chance to play other video games while at the same time, hey, if I want to play Horizon first, I can, without having to subvert the fact that Horizon Forbidden West is going to come up and usurp that and also, mess up with the storyline. I love playing games from, like, stem to stern when it comes to that. That being said, it is, a second half of 2021. I don't, it's news to me, while at the same time, like, I get it for a game that impactful, and that if they want to definitely expand on something that was, arguably a game of its generation, Because I remember when the original Horizon came out, everyone was just frothing at the mouth over at that thing. And, I don't want to say it was a surprise when it came, when it comes to how it landed in the gamescape. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, this game is so great. But leading up to it, man, everyone was just like touting it like very, very highly. And obviously once it hit consoles and now it's gone to PC, everyone loves this series. And I'm like, okay, it's going a little bit toward the second half. That's fine. I can play this one now.
Right. So I got a question, and this news is interesting to me for one reason and one reason only. So they're gonna put out their 2 top 3 or 4 series at the same time, that and God of War.
Oh boy, I know, right? Like,
unless they're gonna put out Horizon in August, which is considered second half August.
Sure.
And you put out God of War in like late October, early November.
Yeah.
One of those ain't making it this year.
I'm trying to remember the spacing between Spider-Man and God of War.
It was,
to be honest,
wasn't it May for God of War, and wasn't it August for Spider-Man? It was like 2 or 3 months, right?
I remember it being about that.
And
because I remember I was like, oh my God, I gotta play God of War, and oh man, Spider-Man's coming out, like that's gonna rob from me playing God of War time. And if it pushes back God of War, I'm fine with that. I'm still cautiously optimistic about that thing, because they said it was 2021 and all we've seen is a symbol
that's the thing, though. But you would think, though, if both are going to be ready in 2021, they're going to want God of War out next year first.
Yeah.
Horizon is a big series for them.
Yeah.
And it's a very good game that I've played probably 10 hours of the first one. It's really, really damn good.
Yes.
And this is a big game for them, but God of War is their game.
Yes.
And if it's going to make 2021 and Horizon can't come out early enough in the second half, that's what's getting moved to March. I just can't imagine. Now, of course, if God of War is not going to be ready, that's one thing.
Correct.
And I still question that, just because, again, like you said, that's a pretty aggressive date for showing a symbol. So hopefully they both make it. Delays suck, and hopefully both of them don't have to be delayed, because that already looks like an incredible year for them next year if both of those make it, along with all the other stuff. So
yeah, they are definitely laying the groundwork in regards to their exclusives.
Oh God,
quote unquote partial exclusive, with Horizon being accessible through PC now. So
sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, Sony's making waves, and
well, I mean, they're
let's
continuing
absorb that.
their first they're continuing their first party domination from this previous generation, and nobody thought they would be any different. I mean, look, that Microsoft is way behind in that, and they're going to be for a while, and they need to figure that out.
Sure.
So,
well, I mean, like we've discussed, one side right now is winning the exclusive war. The other side right now is doing a definite better job at like the networking, the downloading, the more quote unquote not really free to play but subscribe to play library.
Yes.
So each one, like, hey, get both. That's all I'm saying. Just get both and eliminate the fact that like you'll be cut out of everything. Yes.
Yeah, be happy with both.
It'll only cost you $700. Just do it. Anyway, so that's our news for this week. We do have some new releases. Oh my God, we have some new releases.
What do you mean some? You mean all the releases?
We have all. Yeah,
So, Charlie,
monkey.
here's what I thought we would do.
Sure.
We would do with this. We both have our quote preferred consoles. So why don't we talk about the stuff that is for our preferred things,
Valhalla's gonna be talked about.
So, what's that?
I said Valhalla's gonna have a lot of voices in it.
Sure. And
I know, I'm just messing.
Obviously, we can comment,
on
all of this, but I mean, there's obvious. Look at the overlay.
Oh, I know.
There is a distinct preference.
The Switch is missing.
That's because everybody should own a Switch, and it's not part of this.
It's up there in the rafters somewhere.
Like we said, everybody should own everything. Well, so the releases this week.
Yes.
Yesterday, starting from yesterday, we usually do our podcast on Tuesday. The Xbox Series S and X console released yesterday, and with a bunch of stuff. But the big ones, this is a new release because this is the date that it was released. PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The next in the long line, Valhalla. The latest. I don't even know what number this is. This is probably what, 10 or 11.
This is the third one of the newest series.
Yeah.
There's Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla.
Yeah.
This has to be. Let's see.
Josh
Black
says 13.
Flag was 4.
Josh
13.
That's a lot, but.
I guess Origins, if you're considering
in Odyssey,
yeah,
Origins in Odyssey, this thing's getting incredible buzz. It takes place in Vikings. It's getting incredible buzz. I'm interested in playing this game. This is a early 2021 game for me when it drops to like $40 or $30. I actually am looking forward to playing this game. So that's out yesterday. Also yesterday, probably the only exclusive that you could say that that Sony has, or I'm sorry, Microsoft has in a way, is the new Yakuza game, the Like a Dragon. It's the first Yakuza game without Kiryu as the protagonist. They kind of change up the way that you play that game. It's less of a beat 'em up, and it's actually a turn-based RPG style. It sounds really weird, but it sounds incredibly interesting. I think Yakuza is one of the most interesting series that we have these days, and I am interested in playing this. The PS5 version is coming out in March of next year, so it is coming to PS5. One other that I didn't mention, but I'm going to mention it here just because I'm going to talk about it later. The Xbox version of Tetris Effect is also out now on the Xbox One and the Xbox Series S and X. I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but that's also out. Charlie, what happens tomorrow?
Tomorrow
is another big day.
Thursday.
Okay, and let's move on.
Yeah, baby. It's the PS5 is coming out tomorrow. Digital, or, if you are one of those archaic guys who has to have the disc. We know one of those. That comes out tomorrow if you're one of those lucky bastards that was able to pre-order this sucker. We're all excited. Both consoles are coming out this week. I'm sure there's going to be like a huge line for them, like to see if they could grab them off the shelves at the right time. Which, funny enough, like you said, they're only orderable through online, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
There's not.
It's not really going to be a line. It's just going to be a line to get the pre-orders. So. The games that are coming through, I know this is one that is close and true to your heart. The Pathless is coming out on the 12th.
Yes.
PS4, PS5, and PC. Very much like Breath of the Wild. This thing is a very, very flowy game. It's a very, very fast game from what we've seen from the Sony press conferences. Godfall, originally exclusive to the PS5, also coming out on PC on the 12th. We talked about that earlier. Mm-hmm. Demon Souls. I've seen several people already turn that sucker on, and oh man.
With respect to Spider-Man Miles Morales, this is the game that shows off the capabilities of next generation console play.
No, I you know what?
It looks incredible.
I'm a Spider-Man fanboy, but yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you there.
I wish I liked Souls games.
If you love the hurt, what better way to watch it than on a really real... And Demon Souls was PS2, right? Or was it PS3?
PS3. It was a launch PS3
yeah.
game.
And so, like, to see it leap a whole, generation in between, that thing is going to look fantastic. It looks fantastic.
It makes all the Souls games of the past, including Bloodborne, look like shit.
Yeah.
Which they kind of did back then too. They From Software had never been known really as a graphical powerhouse, but man,
yeah,
go watch 4K footage, 60 frames per second of that.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yep. The next game, Bug Snacks.
Talking
That
about
coming
Bug
out
Snacks.
November 12th. That thing looks awesome. Like,
It
and
looks
it's
so
from
cool.
what we talked about earlier. It's getting really, really, really good reviews out there. A lot of people are jumping on board with this brand new IP. It's a fun, cute. Like every opening or every release of a brand new console has to have that fun, cuddly, quirky
Yeah.
looking game, and this is it
This is
for the
it.
PS5.
And it's a good game, it sounds like.
Yes.
Um,
Um.
and it's only $25,
Yeah.
and it's on PlayStation Plus,
Exactly.
which is such that man. That's a good get.
And you know what? Hey, if you don't have a PS Plus, that's a good reason to get one because, boy, I looked at my PS Plus games and boy, that on my PS4, and Bug Snacks was just staring me right in the face and at the bottom in little letters like only for PS5 owners. I was
Yeah.
like, no.
That's a bummer, but I get it.
Yeah, totally
I
understand.
hope you're able to get one before the end of the month.
Yeah.
So you can
We
get
will.
Bug Snacks because I want to know someone that plays Bug
Yeah,
Snacks.
we will.
Talking about Bug Snacks.
We will try.
Song of the year, by the way.
Penultimate game that I'm going to discuss, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, comes out on the 13th on pretty much damn near everything.
What number this one is? 13 Assassin's Creed. This has
Oh
got to
man, this is
gotta be
what
20.
5 for Black Ops.
It's the 5th Black Ops. It's got to be 20 in the series. It has to.
Listen, it's Call of Duty. It's Black Ops. It looks really, really good. 19. Joe Shizzle, 23 saying 19.
I mean, it's been
Wow.
yearly for the past 15 years.
So, I mean, yeah, pretty much. It looks great. It looks good. I mean, it's Call of Duty. So if you love Call of Duty,
if you like
you
Call
know,
of Duty,
everyone's going to get in line to play that thing, especially when it merges into that Warzone,
Can't wait.
world that, everyone's been jumping on board this year.
Can't wait.
And finally, my
Of course,
baby.
fine. Yep. Your baby.
Right now I should be playing it on my PS4. I really, really want to play on the PS5. The Spider-Man Miles Morales game. Yeah. Do I have to say?
Yeah.
Need I say more?
No, and look, like I can tell you that when I do finally get a PS5, and I will, it's probably in the spring. One of the first things I'm going to get is the Spider-Man Miles Morales edition that comes with the remastered Spider-Man.
Good.
Because that you want to talk about.
I have been begging you to play that thing.
You want to talk about blind spots. You talked about blind spots earlier with Horizon. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it looks fantastic. And the thing that I've really, really thought's been cool is that it's a $40 game for a reason. It's not the same length as the original. It's a smaller story.
Yeah.
But people are still getting 20 hours out of the
Yeah.
game. And I think that's a cool value. I think that's a really cool thing.
It's New York. Like,
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people saying, like, it's the same map. What do you want it to be? Like, seriously.
Sure.
In Spider-Man in space, I mean, that would be cool. But it is New York, but it's New York through a different time, through a different character, going through different challenges. So,
right. You want to talk about a slam dunk of a game to release? It's that one. It's basically, it was just like, hey, you
Later,
like
Aaron.
Spider-Man? What if we made that game again with a different character that everybody loves and made it look incredible and it plays a little bit better than the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy to do.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Like the easiest slam dunk ever.
and as much as I love, like, Peter Parker Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man has a lot more gizmos, a lot more gadgets, has a deeper, arguably deeper backstory in his repertoire, and I find myself, like, staring at my clock and at the bottom of the screen, like, okay, let's move on to the next segment, please. Like, I already know it's uploading onto my PS4 right now as I speak.
Right. The last thing about Spider-Man, did you see the video of the Spider-Man the Into the Spider-Verse suit?
Oh
and
yeah.
The way
Oh god.
that
Yeah.
they made the suit be in less frames
Yep.
than the game. How
Just
amazing! Like, how do you even do that?
to capture it
amazing.
just like it appears in Into the Spider-Verse. It's great.
Amazing.
I will immediately put that on as soon as I get it.
that I haven't. You want to talk about another blind spot? I haven't seen the movie, and that's the most amazing thing. Like, to have the rest of the game going in 60 frames.
Yeah.
And then the suit in 30 is unbelievably cool. Yeah. It's so good.
It's amazing what they can do with video games nowadays, can't they?
Insomniac is so good. They're so
good. I thought literally that when Batman Arkham Asylum made that game, I was like, Rocksteady needs to make Spider-Man, period. Because this would make a great Spider-Man game if they made it like this. When I heard Insomniac was making it, I was like, who at first? But then when I went into their back history of the games that they had developed and made, and I started seeing little clips of everything had been coming out for that thing, I was like, Insomniac we trust. It's all good. Don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, they would not have made a better Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Like Insomniac, it's incredible what they've done with these last two games.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, that is the news. That is the new releases of this week. Thank you guys for joining us for that segment. That is our little amuse-bouche, our little appetizer. We are now here at the main course. The topic of the show, dude, I don't need to speak anymore for like the next few minutes. Take it away. This is yours. This is Mitch's Xbox Series S. Initial impressions. Xbox. I was gonna make a soundbite for this, but I got home too late.
Nice. Well, as you can tell from the new releases this week, we are here, folks. It is the next generation of gaming. It is here. And yeah, as I've said many times on the podcast since the end of September, I was able to get in and get a pre-order of the Xbox Series S. And after some annoyance and lack of information from the retailer that I purchased it from, this morning on my doorstep was the box, which you can see right behind me over here. Not the slime box.
Aww.
I received my Xbox Series S, and I got it all set up. What I thought I would do, Charlie, first, is I would show it to you. So this, let's see how this plays here.
Looks perfect.
Look at that. So this is it. I'm trying to get it centered here on the screen. This is the Series S. There's no disc, as you can see here on the front.
So it's female.
This is female, and then this is what it looks like standing up. It's got the
big round face.
Yeah, this is the exhaust here. To give you an idea of how small this is, Charlie, I sent you screenshots.
Mm-hmm.
So I also have my Nintendo Switch here. I'm going to put this thing in front of this to show you how small this thing is. Let's see if I can get this to
look at that.
Well.
Look how small that is.
It is incredible how small this thing is. To compare it to the Xbox One, which I have the S version, which is the slightly smaller version of the Xbox One. When it's laying on its side, it is the same height. It's really the same width as well, but when you go into the depth of it, it's almost half the size of the Xbox One. And it is such a neat little clean system. It's very light, but it's not cheap. It's very sturdy. It's very well made. It also includes the new generation of the Xbox controller. This is the Xbox Series S and X controller.
How's it feel?
Right here. It feels amazing. I think the Xbox One controller is the best controller ever made. I still need to mess around with this, but I think that this is going to probably, be one-upped for just kind of the small things. The only real difference here is the D-pad is a little bit different. It's very clicky. I don't know if you can hear it. If you can hear the clicky.
We hear it. Clickety-click.
And they have a share button here on the front, kind of like the PS4
Can
had.
you lift it a little higher?
Oh yeah, you get
There you go. There you go.
yeah, you've
There it
got
is.
the share button, which is kind of like on the PS4, where you can instantly hit that to get the screenshots and take video.
Does it work with
And
streaming?
I don't know, and I don't know if I'll ever know, just because I stream a different
Sure.
way than just the Xbox. On the back of the controller where you grip, it has kind of rough, kind of grippy
Texture?
texture to it to give you a better grip on the controller. And on the triggers themselves, they also have that, so it gives you a little bit better sense of grip.
Okay.
But other than that, it's the exact same controller. It feels awesome in your hand. Um, I like the PS4 controller. I think it's a good controller. I don't like the weight of the PS4 controller, and I've never been a fan of
Is it
uh,
lighter or heavier?
the Xbox One.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Xbox controllers have always been heavier than
Heavier. Okay.
the PlayStation controllers. I like the weight. I
Sense of
like
value
the
there.
more of the bulk, and I also like offsetting sticks. That's not to say that the PS4 controller is a bad controller. I think it's a good controller. I prefer the
Sure.
Xbox controller over that. I obviously I haven't had a chance to play with the DualSense, the new controller. It looks the new PlayStation controller, which looks fantastic, by the way. Looks like a very good controller. Setup was incredibly easy. Got it all plugged in, started it, and downloaded the Xbox app to my phone, connected to my Xbox via my phone, and set it up in less than 5 minutes. And I was set to
Ooh.
go. I don't know what I don't know what how Sony is doing it. I hope Sony's doing it the same exact way, because I was I was able to get to what I wanted to do within 5 minutes, and it was
Pretty much
such
plug
a
and play.
pretty much it was a and the Xbox controller was already bounded to the controller, all ready to go. One thing, going back to the controller, I don't like, they stuck with batteries.
Ah.
Uh, there are pros and cons to having an internal battery like Sony does. Like,
Yeah.
if the battery dies forever, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But I still prefer the um that over the and what also another thing that does suck is that I wasn't able to put in my rechargeable battery pack into the new one, because the door didn't fit on it. So they did that.
Oh.
They changed it just enough to where it's like, oh, now you got to buy new ones, and I'm like, oh, that's so crappy.
Oh.
But it minor
Sure.
minor inconveniences.
First world problems.
And so yeah, it's a great controller. Love the controller a lot. But the setup was very easy. One thing that I really thought was really great is that the network seems to be even better in terms of downloading speeds.
Oh, wow.
Now, we talked about for years and years, Charlie, and on this podcast, about some of the deficiencies of the network of the PlayStation. It sounds like with the PS5 they fixed it. I'll give them that. It sounds like what people are talking about is that the network is way better on the PS5.
We will see.
I hope so, because it was bad.
Yeah.
I normally on hardwired on my Xbox will download games at about between 80 and 100 megabits per second.
Okay.
When I was downloading the stuff to my console, I was consistently over 200.
Okay.
And I think some of that is because the time of day, potentially.
Sure.
But the also, I just think their networking is better. I think the hardware makes it better, and I think that's what we're going to be seeing with Sony. So, downloaded games. Let's talk about games. There's not a lot in terms of brand spanking new games. It's just we've talked about it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. That's just the reality. Game Pass, though. Day and date, EA Play is now on Game Pass. All of EA's 90 plus games are now on Game Pass. I downloaded last year's hit, Jedi Fallen Order. I downloaded last year's Madden, last year's FIFA, and a couple of other games off of there.
How many
Just
games, estimate, like, in totality?
for EA Play or for
All
Game
everything.
Pass?
From that queue
Uh,
that you showed me earlier in that
uh,
screenshot?
well, that was the specific games that I was downloading.
Sure. What was the time estimate?
Um, it was probably a total of about 250 gigabytes worth of stuff. It was less. It was well under 2 hours total.
Nice.
And that was me every now and then having to, make sure things were queued up and
Sure.
things like that. But EA Play's got 90 games. Game Pass has over 100 games. Um, so and not only that, some of the new stuff like Tetris Effect, the new Tetris Effect was a day one Game Pass game, and so it was that was a new one, quote unquote. Downloaded that. I played some of that. I cannot believe I missed this game a couple years ago. Giant Bomb, one of our favorite websites, gave it Game of the Year a couple years ago, and I completely understand it. This is Tetris plus music rhythm game
That's what
where
I'm talking about.
the music and the graphics are in conjunction with you playing Tetris. It is. I've played it for an hour. It's the best Tetris game ever made.
Even better than Tetris 99, huh?
Even better than Tetris 99.
Woo!
Just in terms of like maybe I would have more fun with Tetris 99 just because of what that game is.
Sure.
But this is the best Tetris game ever made. It is unbelievable what they did with Tetris. It is so fun. It looks incredible. The music is it's so good, and it goes to the beat of you playing the game. It's so incredible. It probably of the stuff I played, it's my favorite thing I've played so far. It's awesome. I'm gonna keep playing that. I did download Rocket League for it. They have not put out their next gen update for it yet, but I will say just the normal Xbox One version that you're playing on the S plays way better than the Xbox One version. It is a firm 60 frames per second, and it's a lot crisper. And let me say this about 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second. If you're a guy on PC, you know what that is. You know what playing in 60 frames per second is. But for someone like me who doesn't play a lot of PC games, I have not really been exposed to 60 frames per second gaming because the Xbox, PlayStation, not a lot of their games ran at 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second is as incredible as people say.
Oh, yeah.
It makes those games feel different. Rocket League in a full, crisp 60 frames per second plays slightly differently, and you have to get used to it, and it's incredible. I then downloaded the No Man's Sky update, which does have a next gen update. And so I downloaded it, and they have two modes that you first of all, that game takes upwards to 3 to 5 minutes to load in from start on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. It's a long time. And when you do anything in that game that requires a load, it takes forever. From the moment that I hit start game until I could play the game, less than 40 seconds.
Wow.
The loading speed on these games, because of SSD,
Yeah.
and PS5 is the exact same way, is unbelievable and so great. So I loaded into the game, and there are two modes that you can play.
No more loading screens.
Oh my god. Like, especially in a game like that, it whenever you would take a teleporter from a space station to your home planet, that teleportation would take upwards to a minute. it took 12 seconds on the Series S. This is the Series S. This isn't even the big boy. So there are two modes that you can play the game in. There's performance mode and there's high quality mode. High quality mode gives it the highest resolution that it possibly can give it, the best on its textures and everything. Performance, as you would think, it's slightly less, but it's going to keep it at its peak frames per second. Well, when I first started, it was not running at 60 frames per second. It was running at 30. Still better than what it does on the Xbox One. Couldn't figure it out. Then I found a setting called frame rate lock.
Oh, wow.
I turned that lock off, and then it was No Man's Sky in 60 frames per second. And oh my god! Oh my god!
I know you love you some No Man's Sky.
That game in 60 frames per second, after playing it on the Xbox One, where maybe it peaks at 20 to 25, it runs like shit on the Xbox One. It doesn't run that much better on the PS4. Even in high quality mode, it runs almost at 60 consistently. And that is, again, with 60 frames per second, it feels like a completely different game.
Sure.
And the amount of up-resing they did and the amount of work they did on the textures and things like that, the game looks incredible.
Excellent.
I cannot wait to play more of that. It's really amazing what they've been able to do to some of these older games on older consoles to put them on there. I played Apex Legends. I played a few rounds of that. Again, 60 frames per second. They did work on it for the next generation consoles. It's 60 frames. The networking is great. The game looks incredible. Playing a first-person shooter at 60 frames per second is the only way you can play those games. It's so much easier to play those games. I was the kill leader in a game of Apex, the only game I played. I haven't played Apex in 3 months. And I became the kill leader. Mowing people down. And I think it's because of the 60 frames per second. It's just great. You know, I downloaded some other stuff. I didn't get a chance to really.
Technology has been holding you back, my friend.
Dude. And so, you know, people have asked me why I picked.
Watch out, Rocket Leaguers.
Oh my god, dude.
We got a grand champion in the making.
60 frames per second Rocket League. It took me 2 games to get used to it. That's how different it felt. So people have asked me why I chose the Series S, the slower version of the two consoles over the Series X. And one, because where I play video games now is at my computer desk streaming. So I don't need 4K. I don't need my monitors are not 4K. You know, I don't need that stuff right now.
What if they could be?
They could be. But I don't have hundreds and hundreds of dollars to upgrade that stuff yet.
So the ceiling for that is not 4K?
So the ceiling for native resolution is 1440p.
Okay.
And you can play it in 4K, but it's expanded to 4K.
Sure.
And again, I am, at least in the next 2 to 4 years, I am not going to buy a good 4K television or a good monitor for multiple reasons. One, obviously cost, but also I don't care as much about that than other things. And also, I'm not streaming in 4K. I'm never going to stream in 4K. You have to have the best of the best to be able to stream 4K. I just want to be able to stream at 60 frames per second, 1080p. This thing can do it.
Good.
And so what this thing does is exactly what I need, exactly what I want. I am incredibly pleased. I haven't played anything new on it, except for Tetris Effect. That's considered new. I cannot wait to see what new... I can't wait to see what Cyberpunk is like on this. You know, an actual next-generation game. But what they have done with just the backwards compatibility stuff is incredible. 60 frames per second gaming on a console is something that we've only had little glimpses of. And now it's here for everything. PS5 is going to be exactly the same way. Playing God of War on your PS5 in 60 frames per second is going to be a different experience than it was the first time. Same thing with Spider-Man. Same thing with all these games that were not 60 frames per second. It's really an incredible thing that just doubling the frame rate on something really changes what these games look and feel like. I am beyond happy with what I got. And you know, the thing is that I spent $300 on this machine. Who's to say in 2 or 3 years I don't want to upgrade and then this becomes the kids' machine? That's what buying the introductory version feels like to me. That okay, I got this. I'm in next generation now, and it's next generation that's not hampered that much in terms of what the big boy can do. You know, if one day I do finally upgrade all that stuff, then I can do that. And, you know, I may have a PS5 by then. Obviously, I will. And, you know, that'll be my 4K machine. This is perfect. I love this little thing. It's exactly what I want. And I cannot wait to continue to play it. 60 fucking frames per second is so great. I love it so much. And I want to get... I will say this. I want to get 120 hertz monitor because I want to play some of the shit in 120 frames. Yeah. I bet that's going to blow my goddamn mind if 60 is.
Yeah. Your pants will shoot off and... different directions.
You know, the last thing I will say about it, and then we can move on.
I do have some questions though.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Let me just say
I'm letting you have this is your platform.
Yeah, let me just say this. This is the first time since the PlayStation 2 era that I have been interested in playing consoles at their launch. I did not do it during the 360 era, PS3 era, or the last one. It's really nice to be in on the ground floor. Not for any other reason aside from it's cool to be just kind of back into gaming. Now, some of my life circumstances have put me in a position to do that.
For sure.
But, you know, it's nice to be on the ground floor of something. It's nice to be excited about new stuff again. Like, I was always excited about some of that stuff, but I was never excited like this where I'm like, I gotta get this now. And I have an avenue to get this now. So it's really nice to be back in that feeling of, I'm getting a new console. This is so much fun, having that. And that's why I hope that you're able to get yours as soon as possible. That's why I hope that our friend Nick gets his as soon as possible, and our friend Ryan is able to get their, like I think it's
Josh will get on it, buddy.
Right. I think it's neat that we're all excited about a new generation instead of, oh, we'll eventually get there.
Yeah, it feels like college again where we're like, hey, guys, you need to get this console, like, because... Right. And even, like, it's different now, too, because of all the crossplay that you're just like, hey, you don't need to have to get this, but you have to make the leap to the next generation.
Right. Well, and I during lunch today, I played Rocket League with Nick. He's on his Xbox One. I'm on my new Xbox. So there's cross-generation play.
Uh-huh.
I could play Rocket League with you on your PS4 while I'm playing on my Xbox Series S. We talk about this a lot. Play the video games you want to play wherever you want to play them. We're getting to the point to where it almost doesn't matter what console you own. Which is why the console war thing is such bullshit these days. Pretty much all the games, Charlie, that you and I want to play, we can play them somewhere. It doesn't mean that we both have the same exact console.
Yeah.
And so it's nice that we're at this point where all these different things such as the Game Pass / PlayStation Now services are really coming into their form. Gaming is in such a great place right now, and it's exciting. And so
video games.
I'm excited to be here. All right, what's your questions?
So there's a lot of positives there. Any negatives? Initial, like...
Yes, and I'm glad you said that. I mentioned the dumb thing with the battery thing. Like I think they should have done an internal battery. I think that's Josh, get out of here. So we're both good.
He's just trolling.
He's done it the whole show. But the other thing is, and I knew this going in. and I fully and like this is not a huge problem to me. So the the storage space thing is an issue. I downloaded, I think it was 10 or 11. 10 or 11, I think.
Okay.
Uh, and I have less than 100 gigabytes left already.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to download one of those Gears games, that's going to
Oh
be
yeah.
Now,
Are you getting Seagate?
I'm not getting Seagate. And the reason why I'm not getting Seagate is because if I was going to get Seagate, I might as well have just gotten a Series X at that point. What I am going to get, though, is I'm going to spend $60 and get a terabyte hard drive, HDD. And that's where all of my backwards compatible games are going to go. The ones that don't need to be on the SSD. And that'll be a lot of those games.
Sure.
And then the ones that are specific to the Xbox Series S, those are the ones that will stay on there. You know, like No Man's Sky is going to, you know, I can just close chat. So,
No. Don't.
The
Freedom of speech. We're good. You guys are good.
The like No Man's Sky, I'm gonna keep on the thing because I like 30-second load times in No Man's Sky. So like stuff like that. So
It makes you wonder regarding like a lot of like people use loading screens. I mean, obviously loading screens are there to distract from the fact that you're waiting for the next portion of the game. But sometimes, you know, like they're giving out tips, they're giving out instructions, they're giving out things that like you have completely forgotten, like some type of control that you're like, oh yeah, I totally forgot that you can even do this in the game. Right. So I'm interested to see how, you know, maybe you just have to be a smarter gamer, to be honest.
Well, because look, my Xbox One is the same size.
Sure.
And yes, games are going to be bigger in this generation. But for the last 5 years that I've had, or the last 4 or 5 years that I've had my Xbox One, I've been doing the same thing. Management. I mean, we do that. I've done that with my PS4. I know you have a terabyte on your PS4. On mine, I have the 500 gigabyte. So I've been I'm used to it. I only have a select few games that I play anyway.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me this generation because I don't have a disk drive. So
it's RE4 management.
Yeah, like I can't fall back on, oh, well, I'm going to play the new Fable that's 120 gigabyte download, but I'm just going to get the disc. I can't fall back on that.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like I said, I can buy a 500 gigabyte or a terabyte Seagate HDD drive for $60. Plug it into the thing via USB. I can put all of my old games on there that all that EA Play stuff is all backwards compatible stuff. So I don't need it to be on the SSD. So I can make it work with minimal extra cost, because people are going to find that they're the same issues on the X and on the PS5. I mean, Charlie, we had the news earlier that or I guess last week, that the PlayStation 5, after all of the stuff that's on the system, it's only like 800 gigabytes of actual space. Everybody's going to have these issues.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And so I wish it was a terabyte. I really do. I understand why it's not. You got to make cuts to make this thing $300. I also wish they would have. And look, the Xbox UI is really good. I like the Xbox UI. I think it runs really well. I'm not going to sit here and say it's better than Sony's. I think they're both fine. I think they both do exactly what they need to do.
Should have brought the blades back.
Yes. What I would have liked to have seen a new UI with a new generation.
Okay.
And that's more of a selfish, like, it's supposed to be new. Let's see something new.
Sure.
Sony's is a little different from the PS4, but it kind of looks the same as it. Like, it's a little disappointing that it's not. It's not. You know, I want everything to be new. But aside from that, yeah, I'm really pleased that like I had some nervous moments where it's like, should I just bit the bullet and just got the big boy? And then after seeing kind of the early reviews of it, and then now that I've got it in hand, I think I made the absolute right decision. It's such an adorable little system, and it does exactly what I want and need it to do. And if I need a big boy, I'm gonna get a PS5. That's the big boy. So,
Nice, man.
yeah, I love it. I'm so glad I have it. I cannot wait for you to get your PS5 because I can't wait to hear your thoughts. I'm just glad we're here. I'm so excited that we're here. And so,
I know we've been talking about it since summer. It seems like when we started this whole thing, and like,
oh yeah,
in murmurs like, hey, let's talk about old games, da 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 da, and like, as the time kept approaching closer and closer and closer, through the slog of a 2020. Boy, our excitement kept growing and growing and growing, and now that we're here, I'm so glad to see your excitement. You're like a kid, man. Like it's good to see.
Yeah, and yes, I would love for there to be more games.
Smithy.
I know what the reality is though. Those games are going to come.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to own
That's
everything, so I'm going to get to play those games everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm not that like. There's people that are like, I can't, man. Xbox doesn't have games. And it's like, you know what? Just get out of here with that. Games are great everywhere. Well, yeah, but you know what? Sony doesn't have Game Pass. Like, there's pros and cons of all of it.
If they don't have games, don't get it. That's the thing. Like, if that's your initial statement about it, don't get it. Like, if you're gonna drink the haterade, then just float away.
Right.
Go to the other one. Go get a PC. Like, seriously.
Right. It's like the idea of don't read Twitter like YouTube comments. Don't go to the official PlayStation or the official Xbox Twitter page when they post something, because it's as bad as political tweets. It's just Sony puts in Spider-Man Miles Morales is coming out tomorrow, and then someone like the first comment is like, yeah, but it's not Xbox, Sony blows, and it's like, go fuck yourself, man.
Well, let's not dwell on the negative. We've had everything has been so positive, greatness that you have your Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
We were tracking it all week through your phone as it was in various spots in Texas.
I think I looked it up 4 times on that last break the other day. I will say this, that and I'm closing chat. People, I guess in terms of recommendations, if you want to get into next gen, and you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money, and you don't care about having the biggest and the best in 4K, this thing's fucking awesome, and highly recommended. I think that if you've got the money and you like that stuff, absolutely get the X, get a PS5, go for the big boy. But this little thing is in an incredible feat of technology what they did, and I think it's fantastic, and I will obviously have more in the coming weeks.
Well, that's awesome, dude. I mean, there's no better closing statement than that. The fact that in the next coming weeks we're going to have a banger of a good time, especially now we have a brand new system to talk about, and hopefully.
Actually,
more than just Rocket League.
here's the closing statement. This is true. It's never been a better time to play video games, no matter where you want to play them.
Bam!
It's amazing.
And guys, that leads us right into our next segment, the mailbag.
I'm so glad Smiffy's here.
And guys, if you want to send us any questions for the mailbag, hit us up on Discord. Hit us up on Discord. Did I say that right? That was weird.
Hit
us up on the Discord. Hit us up on our Twitter, or email us at themcgamescast@gmail.com. Or heck, if you're in our chat tonight, hit us up in the chat. We'll answer any question you got. Tonight, we've got a whole Smiffy edition of the questions, and he is here tonight live and in blue color and stuff like that. So the first question he has for us tonight: tabletop or arm mic or headset? Which do you prefer and why?
So I take this to mean for your streamer setup more than anything. And so to
As
me,
you're speaking through 2 of the 3 mediums he just suggested.
well, I'm not using D. I'm actually not using the headset. But I've got mine on an arm.
Okay.
And I like having it on the arm. I like being able to adjust it, move it around. I like being able to put my arm on top of it like this. I think it's great. If I'm just playing video games with people, I prefer headset, of course. But yeah, streaming, I love the arm. Charlie, I know yours is a tabletop.
Mine
right?
is a tabletop, and I like it because it's very old school. It's very Walter Cronkite. It's very, hey, did I not say that right?
You said concrete.
I'm sorry, I've got a little bit of a congestion here. Yes, Concrete, that's his name. I would love an arm mic one day. I think once I transform my man cave into more of like a streaming den, and get, I'm working off like a glass tabletop desk that is not really meant for gaming or computers or anything. It was just a nice desk that we got at some like European store like, decade and a half ago, but it does the job. So I would love to get an arm one day, but and I can't hear anything you're saying, so
I've got a here. I could change mine to a tabletop if I want to.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. I don't know. I like the adjustment of the arm. See, another reason why I like is like when I'm playing Rocksmith,
yeah,
I can like extend it way out to where I can be way out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I think the tabletop, I heard you. The tabletop, so I'm very fickle when it comes to a lot of things, and the idea that an arm is so versatile, it would literally rack my brain at like, oh, do I want it at this angle or do I want it at this angle?
Well, because I did too.
And the fact that the tabletop is right there, center, right in front of me, it gives me one option, and so I like it like that.
Yeah. Smiffy, just to let you know, yes, we saw the picture that came with this question.
Yes, that was... Y'all's pictures are amazing on the Discord. It's ridiculous. Mitch, read us the next question, my friend.
All right, of course, from Smiffy, an all Smiffy edition. What's the best game on the original Game Boy?
Oh, damn.
This is a good one. I was a huge Game Boy P1.
So I was a Game Gear P1. I chose Betamax. I chose the fan instead of the more successful one. Yeah, and I was gonna actually say that. Thank you, Josh Shizzle, for reminding me. So my brother, he had the Game Boy actually, and I remember playing a lot of Pokemon on that thing. I'm not the biggest Pokemon player. I'm not avid. I'm not frothing at the mouth to go play that thing. But that thing, when I did play it, was about as complete a game as that little itty bitty console had. What about you, bud?
Yeah, the answer is Pokemon. The original Pokemon, Blue and Red and Yellow. There are a lot of really fantastic Game Boy games. Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins is really great. Kirby is really great. Tetris is really great. The Mega Man games on the Game Boy are really good. There's the Game Boy is truly an incredible handheld. But yeah, it's Pokemon. Like it's you want to talk about something that came out and took the entire world by storm.
Yeah.
Those Donkey Kong games were really good. They were on when they came out on the Color. Those are good versions of those.
You had the games, and then you also had the card game, and you had the afternoon cartoon.
Yeah, it was such a.
So you want to talk about triumvirate of media that you were just absorbing Pokemon.
And it wasn't just kids. I mean, like the games, the adults. Like in I mean that series. I think they're in Generation 9 now. of that series, and they're still as good. Like that new Pokemon Sword and Shield game on the Switch is supposed to be incredible.
Yeah.
And so that you talk about a game series that's stood the test of time, that came from kind of out of nowhere. But yeah, I think Pokemon, like, again, Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins, the first appearance of Wario, by the way, is an incredible Mario game. Like Super Mario Land 1, the first one, it's a good Mario game. But 2 is really where the Game Boy Mario's really, like, people like Link's Awakening. I don't think the Game Boy version of Link's Awakening, Zelda Link's Awakening, is that great. I never got into it specifically, but a lot of people like it. No, Sturm, we're not talking about Nintendo 64 and shitty games.
Well, this is just in. Pennsylvania has voted for Pokemon, so that we're going with Pokemon.
Okay, we're going with Pokemon. All right.
I will be
filing for a lawsuit against that.
Against all legal and illegal votes.
Yes.
Who is the best combination on Mario Kart Double Dash on GameCube, and why?
I'm going to start by asking this question, Charlie. Did you play Double Dash on the GameCube?
No.
Okay, we got to move on. Neither did I.
Unfortunately, buddy, Smiffy, the only real, so I never owned the GameCube. The only real GameCube game that I played was RE4. And obviously we played Smash together on that thing. But that's pretty much it. I never, Mario Kart was out of sight, out of mind until the Wii came out for me.
So the reason why I didn't play Double Dash, because I owned a GameCube, and I played pretty much every game on there. The reason why is because I did not like Mario Kart 64 that much, and by the time that I was done playing with Mario Kart 64, I was kind of done with Mario Kart for a long time, and I just never played it. And that's a shame, because I hear Double Dash is incredible. It's a really good Mario Kart.
Yeah, some people tout it as the best one, other than 8 and 8 Deluxe.
But yeah, it's a blind spot. That's a blind spot I'll never go back to, of course. But yeah, it's a shame. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Double Dash, we don't care. Next question, Mitch, give it. Mitch, give it.
Oh, okay, sorry, you cut out. What is undoubtedly the best game of all time on the Sega Dreamcast? Charlie, I gotta ask you a question. Did you play the Sega Dreamcast?
Actually, I did play a little bit of it. I never.
So I was a Sega Dreamcast P1.
Okay.
So I just didn't know.
I played some games on it. Why can't I think of that box? Rumble, was it Rumble in the Bronx?
Ready to Rumble
Rumble
boxing.
in the Bronx. That's a Jackie Chan movie. Yes, Ready to Rumble boxing was really, really good. Again, I'm gonna have to go back to my horror game roots. Resident Evil Code Veronica, when that sucker came out on the Dreamcast, my buddy had it, and I remember we took it to his house. We were playing it at night. And had everything cranked up in his room, all the speakers up, and his mom had come home. We didn't hear her because we were in his room and everything was going loud. She opened the door and basically was like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And we lost our complete shit everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It had done what RE2 is now, the remake is doing for the Resident Evil series. Or, no, you know what? Take a step back. What RE7 is doing now to the series, it took it a step higher than the original Resident Evil games had done on the PS1.
It's the only one. It's the one I've gotten the furthest in of Resident Evil games.
I can see that.
It's Code Veronica. Yeah, it's the only one I would say that I enjoy, just because. And it's not to say that those other ones are bad. I just didn't. I just couldn't get into them.
Yeah.
And it was that weird thing where the Sega Dreamcast did not have a long life, but it was funny. They had some weird exclusives on that thing, including that one. It was so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Ready to Rumble was a really good. Funny enough, Charlie, we talked about last week in Scatter Shooting. Ready to Rumble 2 included Bill Clinton as an unlockable boxer. Josh, you're gonna think I'm targeting you, but Charlie knows this. Shenmue is one of the worst games of all time. It's awful. It's horrible.
You start a chat fight.
I've thought that since 2001 or 2. Shenmue's terrible. It's boring as shit.
So the answer here obviously is Raid Rumble, and
well, it's not. But the answer is for me, Ready to Rumble is great.
Yeah.
For me, it's Phantasy Star Online.
Holy crap!
It's the first console MMO to go online. I mean, obviously it's an MMO. It's great. Soul Calibur.
Yep.
You talk about another exclusive. They got these weird exclusives. The Dreamcast had some really good stuff. Now, I'll say this: the Sonic games ain't it. Like, Sonic Adventure is not a good game. It was a cool game back then because it showed off what the Dreamcast could do, but as a game, those games are not good. That's where Sonic really kind of went off the rails for me. But Phantasy Star Online, that's easily the game I played the most, and the one that I got the most out of. Crazy Taxi and Jet
Crazy
Ride
Taxi. Oh my god, I forgot that was on the Dreamcast.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
It's so weird because a lot of the Dreamcast games I actually played on the PS2, not even remembering that they were a Dreamcast game in its originality.
I played Sonic Adventure 2 first on the GameCube. So which was weird. I think it was the first Sonic game that was put on the GameCube. Virtual Tennis. I forgot about that. Virtua Tennis was great.
Wow.
Never got into Virtua Fighter. It was too technical for me. Dreamcast, hell of an underrated system.
So,
except Shenmue, which is shit.
Your final answer is Phantasy Star Online, sir?
Yeah, it's kind of not close.
Okay, nice. Next question. What's worse to have on a video game? Long, slow, painful, tedious training missions? Mass inventories where you forget what you have and just can't find fuck all? Or irritating non-playable character ally buddy sidekick that will not die even by your own hand?
Those are all three really good. They're all bad. But I'm gonna tell you what the answer is, Charlie, and let's see if you agree with me. It goes back to Mass Effect 1. I cannot stand horrible inventories. I cannot stand it. I cannot stand inventories that don't have filters. I don't like it. Mass Effect 1's inventory was a jumbled mess of shit.
Sure.
And I cannot stand that. Training stuff is... It can be annoying, but games have gotten really good especially in this last generation, of not making it too tedious. And gone are the days of Driver, where you did the training mission, which was the licensing. Like that kind of shit.
I think that's the last one that really was a stick in my ass.
It's definitely the one I always think of first. But yeah, like Red Dead 2, Charlie, I know you remember kind of the way they did the training. It was kind of done within the confines of the story, so it didn't get in the way. And I think games do a really good job of that, of just kind of integrating it within the stories. Irritating non-playable characters, games still have issues making really good non-playable characters that are in your parties. There are games that do it well in some cases. One of the things I did like about Fallout 4 is that what's his name? The robot guy. What's his name?
I know you're talking about. I just can't think of his name.
The detective guy. Really good, really funny, interesting backstory, helps you along the way. But there were others in that game that were just, go fuck yourself. They're terrible, and you couldn't do anything about them. Doing AI is very difficult in games, especially AI that's supposed to help you.
Sure.
See, I like Claptrap.
Oh, we love Claptrap, dude.
I love Claptrap. I can understand how that can get grating. on you, but
even in the pre-sequel, you get to play as Claptrap.
That seems like it's taking it a little bit too far. Claptrap's like a side guy, but yeah, I can get over training and non-playable characters, but if your inventory is shit, I can't deal with your game. I almost quit Mass Effect because of how bad the inventory is in that game. It's so bad.
I will say the inventory is very, very rough. Like, not that game. I'm talking about the choice. Because Sturm Rage does have a point that if you just sell all your shit, you get a lot more credits and you can just move things around,
Sure.
But I do agree with you on this sense that, like, if so games that allow for unlimited amounts of inventory space need to damn well make sure that categorizing or sorting or filtering system is in place. Dude,
I will give you a game that I love.
Mass Effect 1, yes, is fuck up.
It's bad. Skyrim. Love Skyrim. One of my favorite games of all time. Terrible inventory.
Sure.
Terrible inventory system. And really, Bethesda games, like Fallout's not good either. Like, their inventory system is bad. But Final Fantasy for a long time had bad inventory systems. It got better as it's gone along. But Sturm, if you're trying to fucking look for something to equip, you can't fucking find it in those games. Stop taking this shit personally, dude.
Well, here's the thing. Like, again,
sucks. Damn.
And I'm not picking sides here again, but going to the non-playable character ally buddy sidekick that will not die even by your own hand. Oh my god. So if anyone here has played KOTOR, there was this fucker named Karth Onasi that it didn't matter if you were a good guy or if you were playing Jedi or if you were playing Sith. He would piss you off to no ends just because his sniveling little, oh, I'm a Boy Scout, hey, we should do this, hey buddy, no light side, whatever. I wanted to kill him all game long, and oh my god, when they gave you that opportunity and option at the damn butt end of that game, I've never had more of a cathartic feeling than just like slicing him in two with my double lightsabers.
See you later.
Shiva from RE5, I feel you, Josh Izzle, brother. There were moments where it's like, stop stealing my ammo, stop stealing my shit. You're not doing anything but running around and getting killed. Stop stealing my herbs. What are you doing? Literally, all you wanted to do was kill her. It was ridiculous. Like, there are moments in that game where, yes, there is a reason that system is in there, and she's less of a toting companion and more of a person who is actually there to assist you. But more than likely, she was there to fuck everything up, and you have to start the entire cycle over again. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
the car thing almost makes me want to change my answer.
Dude.
What was the girl that you have in your party in Mass Effect 1?
Which one?
The human girl.
Ashley?
What's her name? Ashley. She fucking wore
she was alien racist, remember?
Yeah, she sucked. I bet you can guess who I picked to survive later in that game. Which is funny.
Aw, poor Caden.
Isn't Caden played by the guy that played Karth?
Yeah, I know.
It's so funny.
It is.
It's so funny, but I don't hate him in that game.
Fucking asshole.
Like, he's fine in that game. He's fine in Mass Effect. But man,
so
Karth. Oh my god, Karth.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. It's Karth. The answer is what's worse in a video game? Karth.
Karth, period. Anyway, that was a great question. I love that one. I love those questions that stir debate. And finally, last question. How many times did you shoot the dog on the original Duck Hunt on the Nintendo?
So the answer to that question is 0 times because you can't fucking kill him. But every time you missed, you sat there and you just pulled the trigger. Fucking die, dog.
You know those pistol competitions where they like try to shoot things as fast as possible, like
Oh yeah,
quick draw.
quick draw. Yeah.
I literally took the gun and like I clicked that sucker as fast as I could, hoping somehow, some way I could usurp the system and try to shoot all around it to peg that dog. I heard so my understanding is like obviously on the NES system you can't do that. But is it true that like on the there was another system that had that, and you could actually shoot the dog, and the dog would like show some type of sign saying like, "Hey, you can't shoot me" or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's some. I don't know if it was a mod or.
I bet you someone has made a mod for that game.
They're not bubbles. They're clay pigeons.
You could shoot. You could shoot the. You could shoot the dog. But yeah, no. I mean, look, the dog was a sniveling asshole, and. Like, how could someone...
Because he laughs at your fucking ass every time you missed.
How could someone so
Dickhead.
Joyous when you kill a duck, when he lifts it up and he's like, haha, be such an asshole on the other side of it? It's like, bitch, I'll show you a miss. Blam!
Oh, man. And that is our...
I hate you more than Shenmue.
And that is our Smiffy edition of the mailbag today.
Thank you, Smiffy.
Thank you for those questions. Again, those people in the chat, if you have any questions coming up that you just want to answer about video games, about food, about life, about whatever the fuck, email us at themcgamescast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Discord. Hit us up on Twitter. Just... You see us walking down the street, say, I got a question for you. Why is Oreo cookies so good with queso? It's really good with queso. You should try it. Anyway.
Why is every other combination terrible? Like Rice Krispie treat hot dogs.
I'm going to make a Rice Krispie treat hot dog bun.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to lie to you when he says they're good. Gross.
I'll make you one and you'll try it.
Smiffy, I took that question out because I don't understand what that means.
So why is a raven like a writing desk?
I don't understand what that means.
That has some dirty connotation in it. I don't know why.
It probably has something to do with a dick.
As one would.
Yeah.
Well, that was our mailbag. Now we've come to the time of the show where we do a little scatter shooting. How about that? Do a little scatter shooting on the side?
Yeah, we can do that. Go ahead.
Hello, listeners. This is Scatter Shooting with your host, Charlie. Take it away, Charlie.
Thank you very much, announcer man, my little boy, bringing me in. And this is Scatter Shooting. While wondering, whatever happened to Ninja Gaiden?
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Released in 1998, this side-scrolling beat-em-up was a magnet to the quarters of many arcade goers. It then transferred onto the NES in the latter part of the year to become one of the main cornerstone NES games that helped coin the term Nintendo Hard. Yes.
Ninja Gaiden Black is the last one?
We'll see. 2 more games spawned from the original, and it was ported out to other consoles, the Master System, the Game Boy, the Game Gear, and even was presented as an SNES collection cartridge. In 2004, the series was resurrected on the Xbox, now on a 3D plane. Many cringe at hearing the title, as the aforementioned Ninja Gaiden Black, reclaiming itself as one of the most difficult games to defeat. And according to joyscribe.com, among those are Battletoads, Call of Duty World at War on veteran difficulty, Halo 2 on legendary, and I take personal pride in saying this game, Cuphead. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I beat that bad boy.
Hey, Smiffy, you should talk to Charlie about the other game that has to do with Cuphead.
Ryu Hayabusa's journey would continue on another 8 years through several titles, but essentially the same game, but it was simplified across each newer version. Ryu would go back into hibernation with Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Z's release in 2012. That was actually the last Ninja Gaiden game released. It's called Yaiba.
Don't even know what that is.
It's been 8 years, and with a new generation of consoles now bursting onto the scene, is it time for the ninja yet again to strike fear in the hearts of players? Rumors are swirling that Team Ninja may be at work on a hidden project, but the sword is in their hands, so to speak, and whether this will come to fruition or not, but no one has denied it yet. So, we'll see. Our scatter shooting section loves to find these fun little lists of 5 or 10, make you wonder about random categories and topics swirled around a swath of video games and its industry. And here's another one. I love video games, their entertainment, and how they make me feel as I slash other enemies, score a winning goal, or unlock a brand new world. Some games deliver all the feels and fun that movies do, even more so. During this pandemic, we've turned on to both as we binge and watch all those Netflix ditties or crank up the latest video game. Both are multi-billion dollar industries that deliver entertainment on a scale that cannot be truly quantified. When both of those worlds collide, it's kind of interesting to see how the moviegoer or the video gamer, if you're a hybrid of both like myself, receives this thing. In a world where we measure movies' success based upon how many billions of dollars it makes, I'm really surprised by the figures here because I thought they'd be lower in amount that they brought in. But here's the list of the top 5 grossing video game movies. At number 5 was Prince of Persia. The Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
That's a good movie, by the way.
I want to see that movie, and I'm scared that it's gonna be bad because it's a Disney flick.
Look, it's a movie you're gonna watch once, you're gonna like it, but you're never gonna watch it again. It's a good little movie. I
love the chick. Obviously, the guy who played Mahatma Gandhi, he's in it. I can't think of that dude's name.
God, I just had him.
Yeah. He was in Iron Man 3.
You know who?
Chad, help us
else
out.
is? You know who's in that movie? What's his name? The weird guy from Coupling.
Oh yeah.
What's it? I forget what his name is in the show, but he's in it, and he's really good in it too.
I've heard. Yeah.
He's not dumb like he's in Coupling.
The actor who played Jeff in Coupling.
Jeff, that's right. Yes, he's in it, and he's really good in it.
Yeah. So that came in at 5 at $336 million.
You should watch that movie.
I will. Now
maybe we'll review it.
I've gotten a recommendation. 4 came in at $352 million. It was the Angry Birds movie.
Yeah.
Which I don't know one person that saw that sucker. Nor will I know anyone who saw that sucker, because I don't know. Like, really?
The only thing I know about that movie is that they drink piss in the movie.
Do
apparently.
they talk?
There's a Twitter account called The Angry Birds Drink Piss in the Angry Birds Movie.
Okay.
Look it up.
Golden showers and
I don't pee on each
sweet
other.
lemonade. Number 3. At $428 million was the lovable game Rampage.
Oh boy, yeah.
Obviously, you know who, The Rock, drove a lot of these dollars up.
Yeah.
But it's a kaiju movie that, Rampage is a game that I played from stem to stern regardless of how boring that movie is on the surface, period. You go in, you beat up some buildings, you go on, you move to the next map, and you go to like 122 cities or something.
Yeah,
and it's rinse, repeat, done.
It's great.
This is a great game. I really love the game. Smiffy is saying the movie is awful. I have to at least try it. We may need to do that as a little featurette, just something dumb. Why not?
If we're gonna do that, I'd rather pick movies that are gonna be at least good.
Well,
I don't know if I want to do Rampage.
We gotta do something dumb at least every now and then.
If we're gonna go bad movies, we gotta go fucking bad.
Okay, Doom. Number 2, the runner-up here, came in at $433 million, and it was Detective Pikachu.
I hear that's great.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds, man, he makes
great.
good movies.
Oh, I think I know what number one is.
I'm really bummed that was it Free Guy got delayed, and it just looks like a fun Ryan Reynolds movie especially the fact that it's centered around video games, etc.
Yeah, it does look funny.
The number one, the pinnacle, and it's just not for me. $439 million, Warcraft.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Nope.
I heard that movie's terrible.
Yeah. And I think because it has the Warcraft title.
I think so.
That's why that sucker.
That movie's supposed to be really bad. I thought you were going to say the Sonic movie.
I mean, it hasn't been out as long, I guess. Obviously, was it that movie came out this year. So, it doesn't have much time to really release. Yeah, it was. It came out right before.
It's like March,
the craziness.
February, March.
Yep. Because it was
that movie's fine too.
It was the number one movie for a while, and then craziness happened. So, but
we hit a nerve with Sturm.
And finally, it was late at night in Hyrule, and no moonlight to speak of. Link and Zelda were out on a midnight stroll when they start to have sex in the middle of a dark forest. After about 15 minutes, Link gets up and says, "Damn, I wish I had a flashlight." Zelda says, "Me too, you've been eating grass for the past 10 minutes.
Yes!
Thank you for listening to tonight's Scatter Shooting with your host, Charlie. Better luck next time.
Thank you, announcer.
Oh my god, that was good. That was
I
really
was
good.
laughing at my desk when I read that.
It's really good. I was gonna say 15 minutes. That's a long time. That's a long time.
Oh man,
that was fantastic. Charlie, before we go, I just want to say one more time before we go.
Do we have any closed news?
This coming Saturday, November 14th, starting at 11 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Smiffy, that will be 5 o'clock your time. Sturm, 9 a.m. your time. For those who don't know. I will be starting my 12-hour marathon stream for Extra Life, teaming up with GiantBomb.com to raise money for the Cook Children's Hospital in Fort Worth, Texas. Charlie will be joining me for a lot of it. We're gonna get some gears going. We haven't decided which gears, but we're gonna get some gears going. I'm gonna play some Rocket League, of course. I'm gonna play some of the Xbox Series S stuff that I've got, and we're gonna end it with some Among Us. So if you want to join us for that, make sure you have it downloaded on your phone or your computer, and join us there. Donations, $10 donations get you in a drawing for a t-shirt of your choice, whether it's the Team Llama Squad logo t-shirt or the MC Gamescast logo t-shirt, which we will premiere on Saturday. If you donate $25 or more, you go in the same drawing, but you can choose a hoodie as well as a t-shirt. One of the two. I am also, any bits that I get cheered that day, all of it will be donated. The bits that have already been donated this past week have already been put into the pile. Anybody that subs to me the day of, the $2.50 that I make from those subs will also be donated immediately to go towards the cause. We're already over $100 towards the $500 amount. Charlie, I've got some good ideas for what we can do, what I can do if we hit that number, which we will talk about off air. So please, guys, join me. If you could donate anything, that's great. Even if it's just bits here and there, that'd be fantastic. It goes to a great cause. It's a cause near and dear to my heart. My son has been, unfortunately, he's had to go to that hospital. But they are an incredible staff, incredible facility, and let's help them out and help Giant Bomb get to over $200,000 in donations. So let's do that. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate it very much. I appreciate you for hanging out with me on Saturday.
Guys, that's all I got. That's all we got this week. We're gonna have some fun streaming this weekend. We hope to see y'all there. Mitch, you got anything else for tonight other than that?
We're here, folks. Next generation is upon us. Let's go, baby.
That's right. For the next generation, for my buddy Mitchell Barrett at Team Llama Gaming, I am Charlie Zarzuela at Charzar81. We will see you guys next cast.
It's